You're watching CW Montana. This is the MTN 9 o'clock news.
And good evening. Thanks for joining us on this Friday. I'm Andrea Lutz. A lot developing in terms of stories across the state of Montana, including this, a 4-life sentence for a woman convicted in a Missoula double murder. We have the details from a fiery day in court. Plus, this unexpected guest is taking the internet by storm after deputies found this little black bear taking a snooze on a shelf in a Montana home. More of these pictures of the incident is ahead. But first, snow falling from everywhere, it seems, on the first day of summer. Montana weather continues to break the rules, really showing us who is boss. A winter wonderland on this first day of the summer solstice. Who would have thought it? Take a look at some of this drone video out of Big Sky as a full blanket of snow fell on the ski resort, coating the trees and the mountain tops. Snow started to fall yesterday, but it didn't quite stop. As you can see, it stuck around. Also, those temperatures dropped a little bit. Oh man, and take a look at this as well. 4 seasons in just one day. Time-lapse video coming to us out of Showdown Ski Area near Great Falls. The video starts green, as you see, and then it turns to rain, eventually going to snow. The ski area posted this to their Facebook page. And in Whitefish, also a little bit of snow at the summit of Big Mountain. The resort also sharing this to their social media Instagram account, saying they started the summer off with a little bit of snow. Montana weather sure keeps us on our toes. That video was posted just this afternoon. All on this first day of summer, snow once again closing the Beartooth Pass at the state line due to high winds and blowing and drifting snow. Travelers coming from Red Lodge will need to turn around as MDT officials say drivers should be expecting the conditions to rapidly change. Of course, we'll let you know when the Beartooth Highway plans to open again. It may be hard to think about the summer's wildfire outlook after hearing about all that snow, but fire officials say the recent constant rain could keep fires at bay for just a little bit longer. Officials hope that consistent rain and humidity can force northwest Montana's fire season to stay away a little longer. The only 80 to 90% of snowpack this year compared to more than double from last year. Well, that really, though, has made the ground to stay pretty dry. And experts predict fire season to start in late July.
Normally, August is a fairly dry month. We get, tenths of inches of rain with storms. We don't get like we're getting right now, where we're getting 1/4 to 1/2 inch. So that's the normal setup. Last year was warm and dry, but we didn't have a lot of lightning. So we were below average for fire starts.
Human-caused fires are typically the most common, as you know, so remember to douse that campfire and even touch the coals to make sure it is dead out, cold out, before you pack up your stuff and leave your campsite. A transgendered Missoula woman found guilty of murdering 2 previous roommates is sentenced to 4 life sentences. Carissa Hardy, also identified as Glenn Dibley, is convicted of killing 2 roommates in 2013, then attempting to hire someone to kill a witness while behind bars. Hardy was arrested for the murders in 2015 when the ex-wife came forward about the incident. Hardy, to this day, still maintains her innocence.
And I'm not guilty of murder. I'm also not guilty of solicitation to commit deliberate homicide in any way whatsoever. I am innocent of all 4 of these allegations and charges. Missoula County, state of Montana, I believe that you have 40 days to repent of your lawlessness, or else the Lord in heaven will overthrow. That's all I have to say.
A lot to say. Hardy cannot have contact with any of the victims and is eligible for parole in 2047. New information when it comes to Butte getting a second flight out of town, as dozens of community members said that they'd support the measure, but it's going to take some money to do it. Fly Butte is trying to raise $200,000 to match with a revenue guarantee fund. Well, last night they held a meeting about it. And Fly Montana wants a second United Airlines flight from Burton Mooney to Denver.
When we're out there trying to recruit businesses and professionals, it opens up opportunity for us. And if we want to see our community grow, it will certainly happen with adding another flight.
And the airport only has one Delta flight to Salt Lake City. Senator Steve Daines is reconnecting with the Job Corps workers in light of a recent ruling by the Trump administration to keep centers open in Montana.
I was just a kid that grew up in Montana like many of you have done and are doing. And it was an honor for me to take your message, your results, the work that you do. I'm just a conduit to present that to the president and to the secretaries.
You may remember the Trump administration initially moved to close the Anaconda and Trapper Creek Job Corps centers. Instead, though, they'll remain open under the Department of Agriculture. Anaconda was one of 9 slated to close. Darby would have been transferred to a private contractor. The move won praise from Montana's congressional delegation and the governor. Well, as governor, Steve Bullock continues to set his sights on the Oval Office. His campaign trail has taken him pretty far east. Today, Bullock started that 2-day tour through New Hampshire, meeting with New Hampshire Senate Majority Leader Dan Feltes. And tomorrow, Bullock, well, he is on a different track with the New Hampshire senators, and he's going to meet voters across the state from 4 different stops. The governor announced that he will have locally televised town halls in Iowa and New Hampshire, one for every single night that he's there. Trending in Montana right now, a black bear decided a closet was the perfect spot for a nap after breaking into a home's mudroom. Take a look at this video. You've probably seen it a lot today on social media. The bear got tired, though, when he couldn't find his way back out. These are some images from when the Missoula County Sheriff's deputies found that bear stuck in the home. They say the bear even managed to somehow deadbolt the door from the inside. Deputies say attempts to get the bear to leave were met with some yawns from him. He was eventually tranquilized and relocated. That story just going crazy today on social. Well, a new step, obviously, and a new building for the Billings Habitat for Humanity Restore after a devastating fire left their former location in ashes. We got an inside look at the new location. It's on King Park Drive. The new store, 18,000 square feet, rental space, a retail space. And there's 5 new docking bay doors to help easily with drop-off and picking up of materials. 100% of the money made from the restore goes to help Billings families.
It's an opportunity for us to say thank you to the community for supporting us during the difficult time, but helping us getting back on our feet as well, so we can continue to serve children and families living throughout Yellowstone County. There's a great need out there, and the building we're standing in here today is another fundraising arm of our mission, our ministry here at Habitat. It's because of the restore and folks donating to the restore, shopping at the restore, that these homes become a reality. They're a dream come true for families and children living in poverty housing right here in our own community.
Okay, and the Habitat crew is nearly complete on their last home. It's in a 16-home subdivision. Then they're going to break ground in 4 weeks on the next set of homes that they'll help with. Well, caring for someone with Alzheimer's is long and it's a difficult process. So on the longest day of the year when Helena Adult Care Facility is drawing awareness for the disease, the summer solstice has the longest hours of daylight. Caregivers handed out purple carnations, which is the color of Alzheimer's. The longest day serves as a way to draw awareness and support for research.
There are approximately 50 million people worldwide with Alzheimer's and about 5 million people in the United States. It's an epidemic, and we need to work on that cure.
Advocates will also raise awareness and money for Alzheimer's research with the annual Walk to End Alzheimer's. That's in September. So if you do have to pay to park in one of 2 residential areas in Bozeman, you're about to see the cost for your permit go up. MTN's Cody Boyer has the details.
We don't want to try and go a huge chunk all at one time.
Fred Meese, as parking program manager, that's the goal. For anyone who regularly has to park under these green signs, including myself, that could mean another thing, paying more money.
They're about a $44,000 deficit, meaning that it costs $44,000 more to administer and enforce the districts than the revenue that they bring in.
Meese says up until about 2 years ago, parking districts have been consistently in the red. When I asked for how long, he says no one really knows.
For many, many years, the districts existed with a $10 a year permit fee annually per permit. And so a couple years ago, we began to look real seriously at all the rates.
The recommendation, $5 more per year, with small increases in the future.
At $40 a year, it would break even.
While Mee says these increases for these permits doesn't quite get rid of the deficit, he says it at least narrows the gap between the red and the green. That being said, while the next couple of increases over the next couple of years is yet to be decided, that hike adds up.
Right now, at $25 per year, the deficit sits at about $44,000. Bring that to $30 a year. Mee says that will bring the deficit to about $30,000, about a $14,000 difference.
Because this was left alone for so many years, the staff is not proposing to take it all back at once.
That includes a new $10 annual permit for unmarked service cars like plumbers and electricians. That way, parking permit districts meet the Bozeman City Code, paying for themselves. Mee says with the plan now firmly in place, that can happen.
That's what I think the Commission and the Parking Services Division at the City of Bozeman are trying to do, is just strike a good balance.
Meese also says the Parking Commission's resolution, which has passed by City Council, will be heading to the City Commission in July, since the renewal period for these permits is in August. That's when this will all take effect. In Bozeman, Cody Boyer, MTN News.
Always some growing issues for a growing city like Bozeman. Thanks so much, Cody, for that. Still to come on tonight's MTN 9 o'clock news, a new children's center opens at Kalispell Regional Medical Center, and we have a look inside the facility that's going to help countless families. But first, it is the weekend. We're all thinking about the weather. Hey, Bob, how's it going to be?
Today was the first day of summer, but the temperatures felt more like fall, and with the snow up in the mountains, it looked more like winter. We'll have more coming your way after the break.